Hi, I'm Joe Milnes. I'm the founder of Revitech. And in the last 4 months, we've been able to double the number of clients that we acquire and service without hiring any more staff. And the reason we've been able to do that is because of Claude Cowork and other AI tools. In this video, I'm going to show you the best ways that I've found as a founder who's doing sales and is also running the business and delivering for clients, has been able to utilize Claude AI and Claude Cowork to be able to drive efficiencies and do 4, 5, 6 times the output and the productivity that I was doing previously. Now, this video is specifically going to be helpful for founders. So if you are doing the sales in your business, this is where the majority of this does, and especially useful if you're a consultant or you do coaching or anything where you're speaking on camera and you're having to deliver for clients as well as acquire clients, as well as do the sales calls, as well as deal with the finance. Because yes, we're the founders, we're doing sales, but we've also got to run the business too. By the end of this video, you're going to have some really practical tips and understand how you can use Claude Cowork to weaponize your productivity and really supercharge what you're able to do on a daily basis. Let's dive in. Now, if you don't know what Claude Cowork is similar to Claude Chat or ChatGPT as you know it, but it has the ability to manage multiple tasks at multiple times. It works on your desktop app and it will connect to any application pretty much that you can think of, get access to that information, and then you can talk and get it to do stuff for you, like a little assistant. But whereas opposed to ChatGPT or Claude normally, where you're just chatting away the majority of the times and it's more knowledge based, Claude Cowork will actually do stuff for you. So what I found the best way to do is, in the first instance, you want to get Claude Cowork and you want to connect it to all of the apps that you use on a daily basis. So for instance, I record all of my calls with Fathom. So I've connected it to Fathom. I've connected it to my Gmail, Gcalendar, Slack, Notion, vibe prospecting. There's loads of connectors that you can browse and do, but start with the apps that you're already using because you're already in these on a daily basis. So why not use Claude Cowork to drive the efficiency? Once Claude is connected to these, then it allows it to pull information from these different apps, and then you can chat with it or get it to do tasks within those apps. As an example, if I'm wondering what was discussed on a sales call, then I will just ask Claude to pull the call and give me a coaching analysis on that call. Or if I'm wondering what I've promised to do for a customer and whether that's due, I will ask Claude to go into my Fathom, check what I promised on the call, and then update the projects and tasks in Monday or Notion, and it will do that for me. It saves so much time. But the first step is that the more tools you connect it to, the more useful it can be. So step one is go to connectors on Claude, select and put in the names of the apps that you're using already. Most of them, if I've mentioned things like Slack, Notion, you're going to be using them already. So you just search for them and get them all connected so you can start experimenting what is happening. Next is feed it context. So Claude Cowork will work slightly differently from a ChatGPT, which is browser-based, or Claude, which is browser-based. Claude Cowork can access files on your folder. Now, the reason this is so effective and so useful is that you can put all of the context that you need into folders on your desktop, and Claude can access them at will. So for an example, we have all of our sync selling sales methodology and context and IP on folders in our desktop, which Claude can access and do an onboarding for a client. We also take all the information from the calls that we've done from the client automatically and store all of that information as well in a folder. So Claude now knows how we teach, how we deliver, how I think about sales, how we close more sales, how we create scripts and playbooks, but it also has the context of the customer information that we've got from the customer calls. So it's got instant access to all of that information. In addition to that, when you think about, I spend a lot of my time doing consulting calls or coaching calls, as I know a lot of you do. So anytime you're on a call and you record it with Fathom, you can feed the transcript to Claude Cowork and get it stored as context so that Claude Cowork knows how you think. It'll get to know how you speak, what word patterns you use, how you write, anything, it starts to be able to understand who you are at a much, much deeper level than if you're doing it in a window, in a browser. Now, why is that important? It's important because it means that when you first log on to Claude Cowork and you ask it to do a task, it has all of the context it needs. So you don't need to start from zero. There's no back and forth. It just knows how you are and what you are doing. As an example, I really admire a couple of copywriters that I'm signed up to the mailing list to. Daniel Fazio, I love his flows and being in one of his funnels. And I wanted to create an email structure that was flows and would be as effective as his. So I asked Claude Cowork, I said, go to my emails and look at Daniel Fazio's, pull all of the emails that he sent and do an analysis on the copy, the tone of voice, why it's so effective, what cadence he uses, how he sends me emails on each day, what the difference is, all of the information that you can. Then I want you to go to the sync selling folder, which is my methodology, and all of my call transcripts. And I want you to adapt the methodology and the framework from Daniel Fazio, but I want you to put it into my voice and with my methodology for my ICP. And Claude Cowork was able to do that. So we got a really amazing copywriting strategy, how a world-class marketer structures his nurture emails, but then apply it very specifically to me, my voice, how I structure sentences, what I rant about, what my customers are concerned about, because crucially they're different. And then I was able to get Claude Cowork to build me out a infinite email sequence where it just rolled and rolled and rolled because it knew what good copy was because it had the context, and then it knew what my voice and tone of voice is. If you want to take that to the next level, then another thing I'd recommend you do is, especially if you're a coach or consultant, record how you are on calls and then create a my voice project document within Claude Cowork. And my voice document will mean that it will record how you think, how you say, the turns of phrases, whether you are humorous, irreverent, serious, your tone, everything about what makes you you. The reason people don't like AI content is because often it sounds generic. It's not just this, it's why. And people just know that it's AI because it's so generic and it stands out now. So the average has become like just really stand out loud because it's mediocre and people want real, authentic content. By creating a voice file in your folder for Claude Cowork, it allows Claude Cowork to understand not just how you think, but how you speak, how you phrase, what type of language you use. And it means that you can give it any idea and then it will bring it to life in your voice. So once you've done that, you can, and now it's captured all of how I think about sales. It's captured how my tone of voice, how I think, what I rant about, what I hate, what I like, how I do posts. It has a huge amount of context to go to. So I can literally think of an idea or get a question on a call and I'll say, oh, that's a good point. That's going to make for good content, i.e. how do I make sure a prospect turns up to a sales call? Once I've answered that question, I'll record that answer and then I'll say, Claude Cowork, I want to create a LinkedIn post that is going to articulate exactly how I would think about this. Use the LinkedIn framework from all the successful LinkedIn posts of these sales influencers. Use that framework, but then use my tone of voice and bring it to life. And it will just create a really effective post. So I've been able to create days and days worth of posts without having to do any work. And the beauty of it is it's incredibly authentic. It sounds exactly like me, which is what we're trying to do with AI. It's all of the efficiency benefits, but with none of the fall off in terms of the quality of the output. But to get to that point, you have to give it loads of context. Next is once you've connected all your tools and once you've got loads of context and once you've started storing all of your IP, the next is to create skills. Now, skills can be created on Claude Web and other LLMs and also Claude Cowork. Simply put, you could create a skill for cold emailing. Cold email is really high leverage, but there's a lot of different templates and little styles and things like that. It can get quite complicated. So by creating a skill, you can create a standalone document where it says, given all of the information that you've got, if I want you to create a cold email, take all of that, that's great. But then you need to follow this strict framework. The same as proposals. Proposals that we teach people in Sync Selling to send, which are incredibly high converting proposals for our clients. We've created a skill which our users can access in our app because it's already built for them. But I've created a skill which takes them through the main elements of the proposal. So what it should include, what's the best part, what makes it convert, how they should use their brand voice within it. And it enables them to feed it a call from the Fathom transcript. There's a pattern here. Any call that you do is really valuable. Take the call, feed it into the skill, and then you'll get a proposal in seconds. It means rather than spending 45 minutes to 2 hours to create a bespoke proposal, I'm now able to do it in 10 minutes by just taking the call transcript and then feeding it into the proposal skill with the addition of all the other context. Other skills that you can create are for copywriting or for follow-up emails or proposals, cold emails, anything that you can think of, LinkedIn posts, Instagram reels, carousels. We've even created a cartoon, a Sync Selling cartoon, which has really strict prompts for Gemini or ChatGPT image, and it will create cartoons that we can use in our content that look all the same, but we've created that with the Sync Selling methodology. And that's it. So once you've kind of got everything together, if you connect it to all your tools so it has all of the context, then if you store that context in folders on your desktop, capture how you speak and think about sales or anything in particular, whatever your subject matter is, and then create skills which will replicate your repeatable tasks or tasks you feel that you're doing a lot and take a lot of time but have a strict way of doing things. You unlock an infinite amount of extra productivity. I'm now able to still do the sales, follow up with clients like I was a full-time salesperson, deliver for clients, onboard them, create sales assets, coach, everything that we need, as well as doing organic content without having to worry about my time or having to hire expensive people. But I've put the work in terms of capture that context and then utilize it. If you are a founder and you're doing sales in the business and you would like to know how you can use this or other sales methodology to drive more sales without you spending more time on sales, then you can book a call with me in the link in the description. We'll jump on a quick call. If it's a good fit, then I'll explain how it works and what the costs are. We reverse the risk on any engagement with us because we don't think you should have to pay thousands of pounds before you find us out if we're any good or not. So if that sounds interesting, drop a link. If not, and you just want to see more videos like this, then drop a subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.